Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Suresh Dhawan Talks YouTube channel. This is episode number 5. So today we're going to dive into Suresh Dhawan's life, how he started, and whether or not, as a young man, did he really see all this success in the future, or was this all a surprise? And what are his secrets to success? So please welcome Suresh Dhawan. How are you, sir?
Very good, my friend. Very good.
Thank you for shaving. I think you look.
How does it look? Let me know in the comments.
Yeah, how does it look? Do you prefer Suresh with hair or without hair?
Well.
With facial hair.
Okay, very
Okay, good start.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So, okay, if you met your old self, your young self in
Yes.
university, in college, what would your advice be to him?
Well, I have had that thought in my mind quite a few times. So what would I tell? Let's say my 20-year-old version.
20 also.
I'll tell my 20-year-old version that I think the first thing is there is a destiny already set for you. I will tell him.
Okay.
I will tell him we are all here for a very clear purpose. Whatever you are going to go through right now, you have to go through for the success that you're going to get. So take every experience that is coming as an experience to maybe prepare you or upgrade you. Because when I was a young man, I think many people don't know this. I had, at one point in my life, I was very depressed. Because my father actually, when I was 22 years old, he started showing signs of Alzheimer's disease.
Okay.
Now, when you're 22 years old, at that point in time, that was maybe in the 90s, some mid 90s, late 90s, you can't even pronounce the word Alzheimer's. You can't even spell it, for heaven's sakes. So, and I was, interestingly enough, my degree is in nutrition. Okay. Maybe now a bit different, but anyway. So, in nutrition. And I only understood that a bit more in one of my classes in geriatric health. So, Alzheimer's disease, there is no cure. Okay, so you see your dad now forgetting and all that. We still did not know it was Alzheimer's, but he was showing symptoms. So life was getting a bit unstable. Then when I was, 24, he actually got medically bottled out. He became bedridden. So that was the time my life turned upside down. And I was really thinking, is this going to be my future? Doom and gloom. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. So if I met that version right now, I would tell him stick to what is the right thing to do. It can be very tough, it can be very difficult, but your future is already set, which means there is a destiny for you. You are created for a reason. This is a process you have to go through, and this process will make you better. You might not understand it right now. And that question you asked, right? I also ask myself right now as if my 100-year-old version is asking me that right now. So if I was 100 years old, and if I'm going through challenges right now, what would my 100-year-old version tell me that will make me feel that I'm okay? Because I already reached 100. Whatever I'm going through right now, I will go through. So that's a very important question, actually.
When you were at that time, and you, as you said, you would tell your younger self that there is a destiny for you,
Yes.
and whatever process you're going through now, you have to go through it. Did you ever, at that age, find it hard to stick to that course when all of this was happening around you?
There were times where I would have suicidal thoughts. It's like, this cannot be my life. It cannot be my life. I mean, I was a leader in many associations in school. And in the university, I led organizations. I was a pretty good student as well, So sticking to that course was I wanted to stop studying also. Because I couldn't take the pressure of managing the house and managing my studies. And this was final year already, So it was tough, but I think my parents brought me up with very good values. So family, where I also saw my dad taking care of his dad who was paralyzed. So I had a good role model, and my mother was always trying her best to do her part. So along the way, and I had my girlfriend, who is now my wife. So she was also a very good support system. So it was difficult in the beginning until I asked myself 2 questions. I think these are very important questions. The first question I asked myself was, why am I so angry? I was very angry, Vinod. I was extremely angry with life. I was angry with my dad because he became sick, even though it's not his fault. I was angry with my mom because I expected her to do more, but she lost her husband, basically. So she was also going through a lot of challenges. Then I was also angry with myself that I'm fighting with them every day. So the first question I asked myself is, why am I so angry? And I wrote down a list of all the things that I was so upset about. So I was upset, now I cannot become a millionaire. Now I cannot travel. And I was very jealous of my friends. The people I was growing up with, nobody had this problem. Nobody had this challenge. Everybody was in their own la la land, and the father and mother is there. And I did not have that. So I was very upset. So when I wrote all those things down, I realized when I read it back, all those reasons I was angry was because of my own wants. I was thinking about Suresh. I was not thinking about my mom. I was not thinking about my dad. I was angry with them because I'm not getting what Suresh wants. So when I realized that, I'm like, okay, it looks like I'm very selfish. That realization came. Second question changed my life. The second question was this: what's important right now? And the answer was my dad, because he was bedridden, couldn't walk, couldn't talk, couldn't move. The moment it became clear, right now, Suresh, right now, don't think future, forget it. So what you know, what can you see right now? What are you experiencing right now? Your dad is bedridden, your mother is going nuts, your sister is still studying, you are in your final year. I mean, that time already out, you need to get a job. Right now, create a system in the house so you can have peace of mind. So my entire focus after that went on him.
How about your work and all?
Work was not as important as my dad having a system around him, because he cannot. I mean, you have to feed him, you have to bathe him, you have to clean him, you have to carry him, put him on the wheelchair, put him outside on the hot sun so he gets some vitamin D. All those things you have to do. So before we got a maid, I had to make sure. I mean, I was the one taking care. So I was the one bathing him, cleaning him, doing all that stuff. And that's also in psychology, role reversal. You don't do that for your parents. Your parents do that for you as a kid.
Yeah.
So that, I think, affected him probably, but I will never know because he couldn't talk. But it affected me a lot.
Why?
Because he did that for his dad. It affects you because, you don't do that with your father. You don't bathe your father, you see. Yeah, and you don't have anybody to talk to share this experience. Nobody has a clue what you're going through. People will come and empathize and sympathize. It's okay, Suresh. It's not okay, brother. It is not okay.
Do you think their empathy was sincere? Or was it just to make you feel better?
I think they were sincere, but you cannot say it's okay because it's not okay. I even remember I was interviewed by, I think, Sun or Star newspaper once upon a time. And I was very clear. I said, life can be literally like hell. When you're caring for an elderly person and you are so young and your ambitions are there and you're excited, you're driven, and you've been excellent. And suddenly life, I always use this example. I say life pulls a handbrake, and suddenly you're pressing the accelerator, but you're not moving. It's very frustrating. So for me, it's no joke when you're taking care of an elderly person and you've got your own things going on. You've got your own things you want to do, but other people are depending on you. It's like, in Batu Caves, you have Taibusam, right?
Yeah.
You've got some of them carry the kavadis where you have all the hooks behind and they're moving forward with these things pulling them back, but they're still moving forward. So I was literally in that scenario. But because I was very clear, I need to get him settled. If he is not settled, nothing else is important. And there were even thoughts, if I just walk away from this, because this is not my problem. If I have that attitude, and later in life, 20 years later, 30 years later, I realize I shouldn't have done that. It's too late, no? What happens to my dad, the effect to my mom, my sister, I will never be able to live in peace for the rest of my life. And that in itself will be a punishment. So cannot. So for me, very clear. And so anybody who is having stress in life, first of all, understand what is it that you are really upset about. What are you really worried about? And then write that down and then be very honest with yourself. Is this because of you or somebody else? Now, if it's your own needs and your own wants, then put that aside first and ask yourself, what is really important right now? So if that's important, everything else can go to hell. Focus on that. Once that gets settled, there is a lot of relief. Then you can focus. So after we sort of settled my dad, we got a maid. I had to train the maid. Then I could go look for a job. And when you go look for a job, you have no stress in the brain. How's that? So then I could do well in my job. In fact, I got promoted before I got confirmed, which is good. Then from there, okay, you can start focusing now, okay, saving money here, saving money. Before that, forget about all that. That's not important. His survival is important. He's in a worse scenario than a baby. A baby can cry. He can't even cry now. You can, if you have an eyelash stuck in your eye, how irritating that is. Our friend will have eyelash stuck in the eye and he cannot tell you. Until you notice the eye is red. Then you go and check. So that is how helpless he was. So for me, that was the beginning of my life as a young adult.
But now when you look at other people, what exactly you are talking now is basically being more pragmatic about how you approach life. I think a lot of us make that mistake of when we going through life, we are in the now, but then we have one eye on the future, what we want to achieve and all that, right? Do you see that a lot today with people around you?
Yes, there is. Even I still have. So one eye on the future is important, but when you're in crisis, the future is not important. So we always tell people there are three zones in life: your comfort zone, your stretch zone, your panic zone. My father's situation threw me and the entire family in the panic zone. That's when the ship is sinking. The future is not important. Not important. Right now is survival mode. The ship is sinking. Are you going to sink with the ship, or are you going to be able to float away?
Let's go back to the point you said you were suicidal.
Suicidal meaning suicidal thoughts started to come into my mind. How to get, because you don't know how to manage so much of stress on your shoulders. See, at 20, 24, even at 22, my mom told me I have to start sending her to work because my father used to do that. Okay, so my father used to send her to work and pick her up. So she never really did that by herself. So that way she was not so independent. Even though she learned how to drive, but it never happened lah, basically, right? So I had to leave university. I couldn't stay in campus anymore, so I had to send her to work, pick her up. So I would stay at home. Send her to work, go to university, finish class, come and pick her up and come back home. And she will wait for me lah, you know. And we will have, so the good thing about that would be, we used to have breakfast every day together, mother and son. So I think she wanted as much normalcy as possible, and the husband is no longer really able to do that. So the next one
It's the son.
is the son.
Yeah.
And lucky I was 22. If I was 12 years old, it's a different ball game for her. So things happen for a reason lah, you know. So your what's this? Your question was, what's your question again?
No, like, because there are people who have one eye on the future, one eye
Yeah.
here. You seem to have removed the future and said, no, at this point, let's focus here.
Correct,
Because I think there's one, I don't know whether is it Lao Tzu or Sun Tzu who said that the secret to happiness in life is to devote yourself to a task.
That would have been Lao Tzu lah.
Lao Tzu. So to devote, so basically saying be in the present. Lah.
Yes, correct. It's easier to say.
Oh,
But
yes,
be in the
that's
present is because that's the only thing you have. You know, you'll say that the what? Yesterday is his history and tomorrow is a mystery. The only thing you have is today. That's true. But as you go along life, so once I started to get my panic zone under control. So the suicidal thoughts came because I did not feel this is the life I deserve. I deserve better and I want to get out of it. That is why people have suicidal thoughts. The pain is so much, I don't know how to cope. And those thoughts come in. Doesn't mean you will do it, but they come in. That means it's very painful. And there's nobody who can share the pain. You see? But of course, when you get the panic zone in control or managed, then basically you can fall back into what we call the stretch zone, or even you can come back to the comfort zone. So my father's system, I mean, waking up in the morning, before I go to work, I will touch the head, see any fever or not, whether bloated or not. So that was my everyday routine. You know, my mom will wake up, she will have her system. Then we have the maid and all that stuff. So that got into control. That became our now normal zone and became our comfort zone. So what was uncomfortable before ended up becoming comfortable now. And if you don't do that, you felt something was wrong. You see, so we did that. So after that, you can start focusing on other things. So I was always, after that, I said, okay, now I can start focusing on my goals, which is the future. So what can I do right now? Because I still want the life that I want. But most important is, as long as he is alive, he should be comfortable as possible. Because he's in a bad shape. He, I think you would say, is a prisoner in his own body.
Yeah, that's terrible.
For 18 years. So if you have a kid today, your kid is now going to college A-levels, that is how long? From the time the child is born until he's now going for A-levels.
So you took care of him for 18 years?
Yes. And he passed away also, if you ask me, it would be a lot of negligence from the medical side. Because actually, he was supposed to be discharged already.
Okay, so then at this point in time, how did you overcome those suicidal thoughts? Because I think a lot of people go through these mental health challenges. How did you overcome it?
So one day at a time, I would focus on, okay, so what's important right now? What's important right now? What's important right now? And then I will also ask myself, if I am not there anymore, what would happen to the rest of the family? And can I live with that or not? Now, faith makes a lot of difference. Your spiritual upbringing, how you view life, how you view the soul, how you view God, how you view purpose. So that's very important for me. So for me, and I think Sikhs, Hindus, Buddhists, even Muslims, Christians, Baha'is, everybody would say that you don't take your own life because that's not your job. That's God's decision. So for me, that is That's not a good thing to do. So how do I cope with it is focus on one day at a time. Don't focus on tomorrow so much until I get today managed well. Now, and also because I have support system. My mother is a support system. My wife, at that time, my girlfriend support system. Sister, in the university, so she's there. And my father taught me when I was very young, because he had three sisters, but I think he was number three, two elder sisters, one youngest. And he said he learned from his father, as the boy, as the male in the house, you don't trouble your sisters. And I think in Hindus also you have they tie the string, right? So for Sikhs in Hindus, I think the brother's job is to protect the sister. To sort of be there, step in if the father is not able to lah. So in my mind, at that time, that's what I should do.
So you never troubled your sisters. You never got them involved.
No, I mean, I never got them involved. I mean, she was studying, and after that, the brother is still there, and the mother is, managing it also. So she could study, and then she could go to a college and do whatever it is lah. So her support was mostly for my mother when my mother needed to just relax. Then she will go to my sister's place lah. When my sister got married. Before that, we all staying together in the same house. But bathing him, how my sister not going to do that lah.
Of course.
Bathing him, carrying him, feeding him, we had the maid. So her contribution was different. So, but for me, getting out of that support system very important. You don't have a support system. That's why people who are not mentally okay, if you don't have a support system, life can spiral out.
Yeah.
And if the person who you are with doesn't understand your situation, they can accelerate your spiraling out.
Now, again, you talk about how when you had mental health issues or you had all these thoughts, you addressed it by asking yourself, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Right? But what was the point that made you sort of take matters into your own hand and say, okay, let me ask myself, what should I do now? What should I focus now? Because a lot of people can't make that jump.
Yeah. I think I got fed up of getting fed up. Very important. I got fed up of being angry. I got very fed up of the person I had become. And I said, something must change. What to change? Because I cannot control anybody else. And I cannot blame, because my mother now, husband in that scenario, they had dreams. And my father is 51 already. And he is a good cook. My mother is a good cook. They were thinking about opening a restaurant. And he even told me, you get married, you get out of the house, okay? He used to tell me that I and your mother are going to have our second honeymoon. So my dad is a jovial dude. I think my friends were closer to him than to me, And so I cannot blame her because she is having the scenario where this support system is not there anymore. So in my mind, okay, I need to become that strong person. I have to now, this is the test of life. So those are thoughts that came into my mind. Now everybody is built differently. Some people might get that thought. Some people might continue blaming the whole world, But whatever it is, what do I do right now for my life? Because it's my life. I have a choice. So what do? I have to decide that for me. And my mother may have different ideas. She might stay in that state. I don't know. But what must I do? What can I do to contribute to this scenario? Because right now, I am now the pillar. So I used to even imagine this. I used to imagine, mom and dad, big pillars, huge pillars of the house, keeping the roof up. But now one huge pillar has cracked and has fallen. The other two pillars are smaller ones. So the next one to carry the load is me. So I have to grow quickly. Didn't like it, not happy. But the moment I realized that this cannot be my life and I am fed up of getting fed up and being angry and fighting and coming back to a house which is negative, something has to change.
So would you say that the answer to overcome mental health issues rests on the shoulders of the individual?
Of course, 100%.
So you don't buy this current narrative of, I'm in this situation, my mental health, and I'm not talking about serious mental issues like Alzheimer's and all that. I'm talking about mental.
But Alzheimer is a disease. Not
Disease, but I'm talking about the ones like, for example, like what you went through. You had suicide thoughts, maybe you're depressed and all that. All of that, you think it's about you just sort of taking life by its neck and saying, okay, I'm going to deal with this now.
100%. Nobody can help that person. Nobody. Any psychiatrist you can ask. They will fail with flying colors unless that person wants to help themselves. There's this I think there was a fantastic movie that just came out. What was it? I can't remember. And it just recently came out. what some back room, I think. Yeah, excellent. Go and watch it. Everybody go and watch it. If it's still playing, back room is like it's about where the back room is your subconscious, and there is one guy in that story who is depressed, and he keeps on going to that room, and he's talking to a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist ends up going into that room as well, and she says it somewhere in the room. It's a spoiler alert, but anyway, that I cannot help you. Nobody can help you, in fact. Only you can help yourself. But when you go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a counselor, their job is to help facilitate your thinking. I'm a mental health first aider. I'm a stress management consultant. And no matter how much I want to help that person, I cannot unless that person is willing to really let go of all these chains pulling them down. And these chains are what? I shouldn't have been treated that way. I should have done that. That person shouldn't have done this to me. I could have done better. That person betrayed me. This person cheated me. That person lied to me. Everybody else is the problem except you. That's victim mentality. So already has happened. You don't even have to forgive them, but you need to now forgive yourself for allowing yourself to stay in that state so long because you do not know, or you did not know at that time what you know now. So you need to wake up. And you've got another 20 years. If you're going to live another 20, 30, 40 years, is this the way you want to live? You have to ask yourself that question. So for me, knowing now, in my case, I know Alzheimer's disease, there is no cure. It will only get worse. Having that thought that life is only going to get worse, or my father's condition is only going to get worse, is not very helpful. No? But when you know that, now you have to accept. Now what do I do? Knowing that it's not going to be better.
So one of the contributors to your recovery and to how you bounce back was accepting the truth of things, regardless how brutal they are.
Correct. So I have a acronym I create when I do change management programs. I share with my participants, and I give them very tough scenarios. Something like even death of a child, terminal illness, loss of job is very simple actually. Loss of job, one of the easiest things to handle. When you have loss of a child compared to loss of a job is a piece of cake, man. So I give them this acronym called AEIOU, right? Easy to remember. A means accept. Accept what has happened. You don't have to agree. You don't have to like it. Accept that this is the reality. Once you accept, there's a lot of load on your shoulder which is just gone because she left me, or I lost the job, or he's gone. Something like that, So accepting, then you have to align. The A also stands for align. What do I want now? What is my future now? What is my goal now? Align your current scenario to align your new goals to your current scenario. If I've lost the job, that financial goal that I had, I cannot achieve now. So change it. If I suddenly get separated, divorced, that person cheated me or whatever it is, that goal of that future I thought about traveling around, that I have to put that aside now. I have to realign myself to my current scenario. So that's the A. The E is explore, experiment. Try new things, So if you're depressed, you're sitting down alone in the house, you're not going out there and making new friends, experimenting, trying things out, then you're not going to change. Nothing is going to change. So that's E. Explore and experiment. AEI. I is implement. Whatever you have tried, what seems to gravitate with you, resonate with you, now you implement. See what happens. Because you don't know until you actually put it into use. So you already explored, you tried a few things, now make it a system. All right. Now then you go O. O is optimize. Don't try one time and then say no, it doesn't work. Optimize and find more opportunities from that. Like in Alzheimer, in my father's case, an opportunity came out where I can now start talking and sharing about my experience to other people, and they could learn. And then they would call me for talks. In fact, what was interesting is when I got interviewed by Star, my face comes out, right? Somebody in Clio magazine saw me. You know Clio, the 50 most eligible bachelors. That came. So the person saw me, called the Alzheimer's Disease Foundation. Who is this guy? We want to put him as one of our 50 most eligible bachelors.
Wow.
Correct. So they called me up. So so they will call 300. From the 300, they interview and all that. So then I got that opportunity.
What number were you?
No, so there is either you win or you don't win.
Okay.
But I was bachelor number 50. So my picture was number 24. This was year 2001.
Nice.
Yeah, interestingly enough. And so my girlfriend very happy. That's my boyfriend. Who's now my wife.
Okay.
So that's the what was it? The I,
I,
right?
yeah,
No, no.
yeah.
Then the
Optimize,
O,
optimize.
optimize, and other opportunities. Actually, you can find opportunities from wherever you are right now. You see, so it took me to that lane about sharing and helping. And when my job had an opportunity where I would train people, and it was an NGO I was working in. It was about dealing with cancer patients and elderly and all that. And I had this direct experience. I could speak as if the horse is speaking, lah. And participants could resonate immediately with me because I've gone through that kind of experience.
It comes from an honest place.
Yeah, So that was an amazing opportunity.
What about you?
You means now utilize.
Okay.
Utilize means whatever is useful, continue doing. So that becomes your new system, right? So accept and align, explore and experiment, implement, optimize, and then use it.
Okay.
So
You were able to put the future aside, and that's very interesting because you say, look, at this point in time, we focus on what's now, we don't focus on the future.
when you're in the panic zone,
We're in the panic zone, right? But is it possible that one of the reasons why people find it difficult to do that is because of this new, I don't know whether it's new, but it's become a new verb slang now, is FOMO, fear of missing out.
yeah. Okay.
So they always have the future in mind because they feel that if I set aside, because like you said when you were young, you said no, I can't travel, I can't be a millionaire and all that. If I put this aside, I may never be able to visit that again. Is that a true? Is that a fair attitude to have in life?
Okay, so I mean, I see the word FOMO as, you've got a discount there, you don't buy right now, you will miss the opportunity.
Yes, yeah.
So if they are in the scenario, I mean, it is possible there are some people who are young who feel that this is not fair. This is my time. This is my opportunity. If I don't do it right now, yes, I will miss it. Now, it is possible they have that thought, but whoever is listening, right, you have a destiny. You are here for a purpose. Now, also depends on your faith, what you believe, lah. Whether you come back here a million times, whether you don't come back here anymore. The point is, you are here, and this is your scenario. There is a reason. There are things you need to learn. Until and unless you accept it and go through it, you will have to go through it again and again. So you choose, lah. You want to go through it once properly, or you want to go through it again and again. Some people who feel that if I don't go and get this guy right now or this girl right now, somebody else will get her. You keep on getting the wrong girl and the wrong guy. Because you have not learned that you need to really understand what type of relationship you want. So that's an example. If I don't go and this business sounds exciting, if I don't grab it right now, I will lose the chance. And you get scammed a million times. So there is a reason things are happening to you. So for me, if you are in that moment where you are thinking about, I have to do it right now, no. You don't have to do it right now. What is important right now is the more important question. Opportunities, some people say, Suresh, opportunities come once in a lifetime. I don't believe. I feel opportunities come many, many times. You have to choose which opportunity fits you right now in your current scenario. And and then you take it. You don't take it because somebody else says it's great. For you right now, how? So because that was my ideology, my philosophy, I was able to focus on the right things at the right time. And I opened my business. So with my father being bedridden and sending my mother and picking her up from work every day until she retired the next 7 years, I got married with my own money. I saved up. I did not get money from my parents, even though they had. I got married with my own money. I bought my first car with my own money, even though it was a Iswara, the best car in the world. If you are driving a taxi at that point in time, it was Iswara.
Yeah.
So, very good. I started my own business with my own money. I bought my first house with my own money. Everything on my own, we traveled the world on my own company name and my own name. So, did I achieve what I wanted? In fact, I would say I achieved it faster than many of the people I know. At a very young age, at 30, I started my business. At 33, we became international. So if you ask the Suresh who was 22, 24, would that be possible? Probably not. Would I even get married? Who will want to marry somebody who's going to take care of his father who's bedridden for the next how many years? Only God knows. Correct? I would have not known. And that was not important. What was important was, right now, what do I do? So if anybody is going through a lot of health issues or mental health or depression, ask yourself right now what's important. You want to stay in your hole and complain about the world because you've been doing that for the last 5-10 years? Or you want to get out of that hole and choose the life you want? So you decide. So you're right. It is up to that person. And I remember there was one conference I was doing. It's a seminar for Secretaries Week.
Okay.
And my topic was emotional intelligence and all that. So when I shared this story, so many of them come out and they cry, these ladies, right, secretaries. I mean, there's some male secretaries, lah, but the ladies, and some of them are going through so much pressure. And when I share my story, they break down. And they're thinking, I was in that scenario. I had so many times. I still think of leaving my husband. I still think that, I just want to run away. I think of giving my life. But after listening to you, so it gives people some inspiration. And my story is not the worst. I know of people who are in worse scenarios. So sometimes I and my mom also, when we sit down and chit chat, I'll tell my mother, Mommy, it can be worse. Imagine if Papa is like that, I also have a problem. What will happen to you? Imagine if, for me, I'm very lucky, you are okay. You can supervise and manage him. So I can go out there and also work and build my own life. Imagine if that also not possible. You also got issue, he also got issue. Oh, I'm gone, man. So no matter how bad your situation can be, it can be worse. There's some unfortunate soul out there who's having a worse day than you. So be grateful that whatever you have.
No, just on that point, I mean, before we go back to the discussion, but you talked about how when you train people or when you go your things and events, you talk to people and then they break down, right? I've noticed that what helps people the most who are going through tough times isn't a solution to their problems. It's just knowing that there's somebody else going through the same thing, if not worse than what they're going through.
You're right.
So the culture of this highlight reel culture, where I want this Facebook culture where I want to only showcase the best moments in my life, that also can impact the growth of or the recovery process for other people, right?
I mean, yeah, but even on LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
On LinkedIn, we talk about also not just talking about the solutions and the positives and the opportunities. Talk about your vulnerabilities. Actually, you would see that the post where you really screwed up big time resonates with people a bit more.
Exactly.
Because then they know, okay, you are also human.
Like I've seen in some Facebook groups, business groups, where people post honest stories about how they started and then they failed and now they're starting up a new. And the comment section just blow up.
You're right.
But the ones that I'm doing fantastic. Here's my award. Nah, people are like, whatever, screw this guy.
You're right.
Yeah.
So people, because it's like it's in a different universe. It's a universe of bliss, roses, but that's not the actual universe. I mean, you have bits and all that of that, but some people feel I have to showcase that for people to think I'm successful, right? So yes, maybe that certain amount is true, but people want to know you're human, especially when you're talking about the world moving towards AI, where you don't even know what is fake, what is not fake. These are the things that really make a difference. Real people, real problems, real experiences, real feelings. These are things.
Now, you went through a tough time when you were a student after you came out because you're taking care of your father and all that, your late father. How did all of that prepare you for the life of career? Okay, forget career for a while, but maybe your business. How did that prepare you for your life in business?
That is a very good question. And this word, I think everybody must understand and listen or remember, is called the word resilience. Doing things you don't like to do, feeling life is unfair, going out of your comfort zone for the sake of other people, not getting your way, all those things help you in business. Because in business, you might not be able to please everybody. You will get rejections. You will have ups, you will have downs, you will struggle. There are times I even question myself, is this really the business for me? The level of doubt. But then you've gone through so much worse. This is a piece of cake. So when you go through tough times, so there's a saying, tough times create tough people or strong people, right? So because you've gone through that in business, no matter what happens, you will figure out a way. Because you figure out a way when things really matter. Of course, if you don't do well in business, a very simple solution. No, go back to employment. But when your father is in that scenario, you cannot choose another father. That is your life. And if you can go through that, you can survive through that, you can actually even come out of that in the fact where you can live a normal or to some extent a more richer life. Nothing can stop you. So you'll see the people who have sometimes no limbs. I have one participant in my class, I remember. Her name, same name as my wife. And at 16, I think from the elbow downwards, missing. I mean, he got cut off. Because she fell, her brother was riding the bike and then she fell off. And the hand got stuck, in the wheel at 16. For a girl at 16, you lose your hand. Her family was like, this one not getting married, confirm. She's married now. She's one of the best customer service persons in her company. Any difficult customer comes, they send it to her. She's gone through much more difficulty in life, man. She is excellent in handling difficult people because she will manage herself before before she manages the customer. And that's what I teach in the class also. She is the best example. They say, oh, you send it to Rajesh. Her name is Rajesh. Difficult customer screaming, shouting and all that, boss cannot handle, send to Rajesh. Rajesh will know exactly what to do. So when you go through a lot of hell, everything else is heaven.
So tough times are important.
Oh, extremely. And that's the challenge also sometimes I feel for my own kids. My daughter, am I giving her enough tough times? A lot of times parents want to give the children a smooth sailing experience. My journey, my concern is when she's older and life treats her the way life is going to treat her, how is she going to take it? If I don't train her right now, I think I would not do justice to her. I mean, you want to prevent pain, but pain is important. Very important, pain. No pain, no gain, they say. And that's really true, really true.
So the pain helped you, like,
Oh, really,
sharpened
really.
you, toughened you up.
Seriously.
You know, in there are some TikTok videos I've seen of experiments where they roll a ball down a whatever you call it, like a railing, like a rail, and they'll test two. One is a straight line down, another one is the one that goes up and down like a sinusoidal.
Oh, okay.
And every time the ball that goes the sinusoidal reaches first to the end.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because it builds momentum.
Yeah, so the low points are important. People should really appreciate the low points.
Correct.
Now, when at that time you were starting your business and all that, one of the things that perhaps maybe a lot of entrepreneurs find who may have been in your position, tough times, home is a bit difficult and all, is a state of mind.
Yeah.
These things affect the mind.
Okay.
So how do you remain focused on your business when you have all of these things happening outside?
So it's very difficult if you don't have a system in place to manage those things. So let's say, for example, in my mind, there were times where, of course, my father ends up in the hospital, right? So there is this concern, there's worry. But now I know my mother is there. So there is a person who is there. But she is also worried and she's waiting for me to finish training and I go in. So finish training, straight away in the hospital until he comes out. Fighting with the doctors, fighting with the nurses, whatever it is, I will do all those things. But when I'm in the class in front of my participants, I'm in class in front of my participants. So I compartmentalize my attention and focus. I am here. I think about him or her, and my mother or my dad. I cannot do anything anyway. Right? So I cannot help them. And if I am constantly thinking about them, I cannot do my job here. So it's not fair to my participants. So to be fair to my participants, to my employer, to my colleagues, I have to be here and now. All right? After that, I worry about that. So I choose when to be worried about what.
But that's tough, right?
Not easy, yeah, correct. But the idea here is, for me, I think maybe for me, even sometimes, let's say before I'm going for training, there's an argument, let's say, or even the last night. If I have an argument before a program, it affects my performance, I can see. My energy level changes and all that. But I have to force myself to focus because to be fair to my client. And even when I was working in Sunway or in my previous companies, when I'm at work, I have to be fair to my boss, to my colleagues, and to my stakeholders because they expect me to be at my 100%. Right? All the time. I get 100% of my salary at the end of the month. So I have to be fair. But that's my value system. Right? It's easier to say like you got issues at home. Who doesn't have issues at home? Everybody has issues. But some people constantly say, I'm going through this, I'm going through this, I'm going through this. I also had staff who have had issues. So I try to help. But if you constantly talk about your issues, then you're being unfair to me. Your life also is unfair to you. But I've also gone through, I've been there. But a different problem. You have a different problem. But we both had problems. There are some people who probably have not had problems as severe as us, who also make their problem an issue, even though it's not as severe as us. So it's not about the problem so much. It's about how you compartmentalize. Now, it's not easy. Let's say you've gone through a separation. It will take some time, because it's a huge betrayal. Let's say you have a child who is a special child and is going through puberty and going crazy, or a very severely autistic child and all that. Not easy. And especially if you have no support system at home. But once you are at work, you have to make sure you bring yourself to work. You have to make sure you handle that one first. You cannot handle that one first, then no point going to work. You have to take leave. Settle that, create a system around it so that you can continue with your job. Because if you don't have that job, you're going to have a bigger problem here. who's going to support that person? So you have to think, you know. You have to think, you have to balance that. So for me, if I don't do a good job right now, especially with my client, they're not going to call me back. And I cannot manage that then. Because my family depends on me. If there's no Suresh, not only my father, no, my mother also gone. My wife also gone. Now my sister, my daughter also gone. Who is going to handle? So I have to manage. So I have to manage me so that I can manage everybody else. So, they say you have to, first aid. If you're, in the airplane.
Put the mask for
Put the
yourself.
mask for yourself first. So I have to manage me before I can manage them. If I cannot manage me, you can forget it.
One thing that a line that I learned about recently. It's not really that of a line, but then this man who's a former MIC member, now PPP member. Okay. So he told me, he said, in life, never ever mollycoddle a problem.
Okay.
Get it away.
Yeah.
As fast as you can. Do you think that if you didn't go through that 18 years, you would also, I think a lot of people mollycoddle problems. Like what you say, we stay in the hole.
Yeah.
We just grab that problem and we don't want to let go. So weirdly enough,
it's true.
that 18 years made you realize that was wrong. If without that 18 years, you would be like all of us.
No, but before I met, that 18 years is the whole process. I cannot wait for 18 years to realize those things. I realized those things in the first year itself. Because the most difficult part is when it starts and you're thrown in the panic zone. 18 years is already comfort zone already. It's not a panic zone. So the longer it takes, so if you wait that long, it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. So the moment you're thrown in the panic zone, there is a grieving period. There is a period where you will fight, and that's a normal process. Denial and frustration, anger, depression. There is a whole cycle. That cycle looks very nice on the model, but you need to you can even go into depression, but you want to stay there, right? So we look at depression as a mental health issue, correct? But it's not a mental health issue where you give people medicine. It's not a disease. It is a thought process that you need to change because it's so heightened in terms of emotion that you just feel hopeless. And if people start to gather around you and allow you or feed that depression, you stay there. If people start doing things for you, where you now don't have to be independent anymore, you will stay there. In fact, what happens is you feel that negativity, that depression is giving you more benefits now. Because people give you handouts, people give you money, people take you here, people take you there. People are adjusting their life around you because you are in that state. So what happens? You stay. There is no impetus for you to get out. For me, if I don't get out, my entire family is gone. My own life is gone. So for me, my life is very important, but most important right now is my dad's life because he is totally dependent and he needs somebody there. My mother, to some extent, is not as dependent because she cannot drive. I am the one who has to do it. And if I don't do it, I will feel guilty. I will regret. So again, it comes back to me. I don't want to live a life next 50 years dying every day because I did not do what I was supposed to do when I was supposed to do it.
Did you miss out on a lot of things that maybe people at your age at that time were enjoying?
Of course. I even had to give away, I got the job. I remember one of my first jobs I got after the interview was a job that will help me or take me to Hong Kong and Taiwan for training. I was a product specialist. I was selected as a product specialist and they told me, Suresh, so scenarios will be, I will just tell you suddenly because the client in Hong Kong and Japan will say we need, Hong Kong and Taiwan will say we need you. So 2 days notice, Suresh, you have to go already. I'm like, excited, man. How many of my colleagues are taking a job? But I cannot take the job. I told them, I said, I need a week's notice because my mother needs to manage lah. How she going to go to work and all that. Maybe my sister must help and all that. So my mother said, 2 days a bit difficult. So I talked to them, negotiate lah. Maybe you can give me 1 week's notice. No, cannot. 2 days. So I have to say no to the job.
Did that make you angry?
I am very angry. But I said, never mind. Another one will come. Before I joined Sunway Group, I got headhunted to go to Saudi for 2 years and they will pay you 2 times, 3 times more. And they said, you can bring your wife. I said, what about family? They said, family you want to bring, you can bring, but you are on your own expenses. But wife, we will take care. So I talked to my mom and all that. She said, his records, my dad's medical records all here. Any problem and all that there, foreign country, don't know how to move around and all that. So she prefers not. So she doesn't go. So I talked to my wife. She said, Nama, you go lah. You go, I will stay. I will take care. I say, you serious or what? She said, no, it's only 2 years, what? So I said, never mind lah. So I said, never mind, it's okay.
How old were you at this time?
29.
You must have been pissed off, man.
I mean, it is. I mean, I was disappointed lah, but it's okay.
How did you dissipate that anger? Did you take it on other people?
No. I mean, so I said never mind, because I have this idea about. I also understand that when you do the right thing, you get 1,000 times more. That's my belief system. Can be faith, can be religion, can be upbringing, doesn't matter. You do bad, also you get 1,000 times more. So never mind. I will do whatever it is. So far, I've been doing well. Until that point, whatever I have done has got me to that point where I'm headhunted. Correct or not? Which means I've been doing things right. Opportunities are coming. I have to choose because I have to make a decision that encompasses everyone. Even when I buy a car, I see some people buying SUVs and all that. Fantastic. I also wanted to buy. I remember I almost bought. But then I asked myself, can my father enter or not? Because when you take him to the hospital, putting him into the car is no joke. It must be easy. So, my father will not be able to enter. Can the wheelchair enter or not? So I have to think about all those things. So I say, forget it. So cannot buy now. So I have to make a decision that encompasses the whole family. So when you're a leader in the department, same thing. You have to make a decision that affects the whole department. When you're a CEO, you're thinking about 1,000 people, 100 people, whatever it is. So for me, from the family unit itself, I have to start thinking about everybody else, not just about me. I want it, but will that help everybody else? No, don't.
So even though you missed out on those opportunities, you had to say no, but eventually you got them.
I got them. It's just a matter of time. Destiny.
Does everybody, people watching this now maybe thinking, come on, does everybody have the same destiny?
No, you have different, you have your own destiny. That's why we all are born into different environments with different people in different circumstances. Because there is something ready for you already. You have to go through these things for that to happen. See, I mean, if you all believe in God, and God is a loving God and all that, He does not want you to fail. Must be crazy, isn't it? What kind of crazy God is this? He wants you to succeed. So your path has been given. These are the things you have to go through. Now, how you go through it, up to you. But you have to go through.
When I was younger, I remember I used to watch this one video on YouTube over and over again, especially on my alone times. It is with Bill Gates and Warren Buffett talking to a bunch of university students.
Okay.
So Warren Buffett says this, and this line saved me forever. He said, some of y'all in this room will become successful.
Yeah.
And the other half will not. And the other half who does not become successful, it's not because you can't be. It's because you stand in your own way.
Yes, very true. Very true.
So like what you did was, at your life, you could have gone either way. If you had stood in your own way, you could have not been here.
You're right.
But you decided to deal with the problem.
Yes.
So why do people, in your opinion, make that decision? Maybe unknowingly, nobody literally, but why do they make that decision? Maybe subconsciously, to stand in their own way, to revel in the life, in the misfortune that they have at that point.
It's not a choice. It's not a conscious choice.
Yeah, it's not conscious,
it's
definitely.
not.
Yeah.
Actually, talking about, what you just said, I have a program I call Getting Out of Your Own Way. It's a personal development program from my own experience, right? And people they stand in their own way. First of all, they might not even be aware. They're standing in their own way. And if you really ask or you see these people, the reason that they are in their own way is because they're not willing to let go. First of all, they're not even willing to admit their own mistakes. And it's easier to blame other people. It's easier to blame circumstances. It's easier to blame politics, country, market, all this nonsense. Easier to blame Trump, right? Than to look at, despite the rubbish around me, how do I become a lotus? And all the nonsense around me, how do I still bloom? So admitting I have screwed up also. Admitting I could have done it differently. Okay, let me try it differently now. Despite that person being a toot, that kind of thing. What do I do? So admission of your own weaknesses, your own, mistakes, your own maybe selfishness. Am I really thinking just about myself? And the answer is, most of the time, people who are stuck in their own little balloon are thinking about themselves. And they expect others to think about them. So they will always be there. Why are not people thinking about me? And some of these people, in fact, have been very nice people who've been thinking about other people. And they've also been very nice to other people, but now they feel, why are other people not nice to me? So they expect also. So these expectations of how the world should behave, expectation of what I deserve, all these things get in the way.
No, I've noticed something, and even I faced that with you as well. where people who have been through a little bit tougher times, they seem to look at life a bit differently.
Okay.
For example, and you, for me, like this is my experience. One of the symptoms or one of the signs of this is you can joke with them about almost anything.
Okay, yeah.
People who have been through a lot have a darker sense of humor because
Yeah.
they've accepted the realities of the world. Whereas someone who is green, certain things they get offended. Hey, how can you say that?
Yeah,
I'm like, come on, man. It's like-
You're right.
Right.
You're right.
So, what are the realities of the world that has your life, especially at that 1 year and all the stuff, the ups and downs you face, have made you accept that maybe others around you do not? That you see maybe in your trainings and all that.
Okay, first thing is, please, people need to remember human beings think about themselves first. Okay? They don't care about you. Now, it might sound very. It might sound very bitter. And some people, but what about mothers? Okay, mothers are mothers. Fathers are fathers. But not all mothers are
Exactly.
really good mothers. Let me
I've
tell you.
interviewed some, yes.
Oh, massive.
Yeah.
Some of them, the mother word is the wrong word. You must mother and add something else after that also. I'm telling you, seriously. And fathers is the same story. So,
Yeah.
no, but people in general, because of the existence of ego, what's an ego? Ego is an identity created by you for you, but it's not you. That means, let me repeat,
Wait, repeat
slowly.
that?
Slowly,
Suresh.
The ego is an identity, okay? Created by you, for you, but it's not you. So very deep, very deep. In my class, people are like, whoa. So that's what happens. It's an identity. Identity means how you view yourself, how you view the world. That's an identity, okay? I'm a man. And how the world has made you understand the role of a man, or role of a woman, role of a mother, father, all that. So these are masks that you wear every single day. So some masks are so deeply ingrained in a person that give them this feeling that this is how I should behave, this is how I should be treated, this is what I should get, this is what I expect from the world, So this is the ego. It's created by you for you because for your protection. The moment you challenge somebody's ego, they will go into defense mode. So you see, when you go into your wonderful political podcast, you will see the moment you challenge, let's say the person connects religion to their ego. Oh, you just have to say anything bad about religion. Finish. Gone. That's collective ego, community ego, or religious ego. You can even talk about the gender. You go and challenge women about women, feminism and all that stuff. Oh, finish. So that's collective ego. But you also have your own personal ego. So if I challenge you about your own ego, you will become defensive. But that's not you. It is you in this role, in this life, with these people around you, in this circumstance, living your life, living your journey. So if you cannot understand that, so for me, I've understood that. So people need to understand, everybody has an ego. Ego is not a bad thing. You need the ego because it is the ego also that takes you through challenges. If I see that, no, I will not quit. That's also ego. But it's a positive kind of ego. Leaders have ego and you need leaders who have ego. But if you're egoistic and you become the type of person that I will not listen to anybody, that's the different story. Right? So a good leader understands that I need to step back. That's also ego. So that's number one. Number two is, I think people need to understand that working hard is important. I know this word working smart is there. So when people tell me, Suresh, working smart, not working hard, I say no. Working smart means working hard at the right things. That is working smart. You can be working smart doing all kinds of nonsense, right? Doing things faster, but it's not giving you the results you want. But you're working smart, what? No. Working smart is working hard doing the right things. That's the difference. So for me, I've seen some people work hard on what shall I say, things which are not giving results. Even in my own industry, I know of some people who spend a lot of time networking, but not building their presence in the client's place. They network with each other a lot, trainers and speakers. But these people will not be giving you business. Who's giving you business? The client. Go and make yourself present in the client's place. If nothing to do, no business, go and have lunch with one of them. Just go there and share with the people who are going to give you revenue. So work hard at doing those things. Fill up your time with the right things. So work hard on those things. That's very important.
So again, back to that, what are the other realities that you have had to accept?
Well, I have to accept that not everybody will like me. And that's very okay. That's very okay. And also another reality is, I need to choose who to keep within my circle, who will uplift me, and who to say, thank you very much, have a nice day. And some of these people might even be your family members, who you expect, again, to be family. Because they always say blood thicker than water. No, that's not true. Sometimes it's the family member who is the biggest problem. And it can be a direct family member, an extended family member, maybe a cousin somewhere, an uncle somewhere, an auntie somewhere, or it can even be your own siblings. It can even be your own parents, in fact, or your own kids. Some people will be saying, yeah, my own kids don't talk to me. Yesterday I met one speaker who is in the business for I think 50 years. And he immediately opened up to me and said, I got 4 children, all useless. And this guy has been in the business of motivation for the last 50 years. But what to do? That's the reality of life. So you don't need everyone to like you, and that's very fine. And I've got now for me, one of the success factors of TikTok is when you get trolled.
Oh, yes.
Oh, when you get trolled means you have arrived.
You're right. Yeah. Seriously.
Enough people have seen your video to troll you.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. So very good.
The
Fantastic.
moment the cyber troopers came into mind, I was like, yes, I'm successful. now.
Yes,
I've
exactly.
made it. Yeah.
So if you are successful enough, there will be some clowns who are jealous. And that's just human nature, because their ego, their identity is skewed that way, that they don't have confidence in themselves. The only way for them to come up is to bring you down. And then they will continue their life that way. So that's another reality, right? And also, like what I said just now, you have to choose the right people to be around you. Yeah?
That's very important.
Very important. My ex-boss used to say, show me your friends, I'll show you your future. And for me, that inner circle, if you really look at, there's another, I think there's not mistaken, it's an interesting study done on your income and the income of the people around you. So the people you spend most amount of time with, especially your friends, find out what is their income, their monthly income. You get the average of that, and you will basically come close to your actual salary. Which means the people you mix around with actually impact your income also, because of the way they think and the nature of people. So if my circle is business people who are millionaires, it's a matter of time before I become a millionaire. Because I'm constantly in opportunity FM, business FM, sales FM, creativity FM. If I'm constantly around people who are toxic and poisonous, complain FM, life sucks FM, everybody is an idiot FM, that kind of thing. Yeah. So these are the realities of life. Yeah, these are realities of life.
And that I've seen this type of groups. Oh my God.
Correct.
You never see anyone. I mean, it's terrible.
You're right. And they will, either it's subconscious. And the interesting thing is, 95% of your programming in your brain is already set by the age of 30. So you want to change consciously 5%. But that 5% you can grow it, But by 30, you already have this sort of structure in your brain, your iOS, your operating system. And that's how you have. So that's why people say you can predict the future, Suresh. So the people who predict your future basically are predicting based on your habits. You see, this person is like this. So if you are the type that cannot save money for the last 3 years, and if nothing changes, the next 3 years you'll be in the same situation. You'll still be broke. If you've always been having breakups constantly in the past, the next 3 years, same thing. Because unless you decide to change. So I can predict your future from your past behavior. Does that mean your future is a confirmed thing based on the past? Of course not.
But you have to change.
You have to change. But the present you don't change. If business constantly is losing money every year, and you don't do anything different, you don't reorg, you don't change your campaigns, you don't change your product, you don't change your processes, your machines, your people, you don't upgrade them and all that, why would business change? Oh, market will change, getting better. Now you are giving away control to things you cannot control. So that's ridiculous. I cannot control my dad, I cannot control my mom, I cannot control my sister, I cannot control my wife. Who can I control? Me, what I do. So I must create a system in the family that will help me now make that automated, and I go and do other things that will build my life. In my business, certain things I have to automate so I can focus on other things strategically to build my business even more. If not, I have to actively be doing business, That's how we grew actually. So another thing for me to understand, I also learned is I must have, a practical thing I learned in life, you must have a team. Now it can be like, you are part of my team as far as I'm concerned, even though we are not boss and staff and all that, but you are a partner. And I cannot do what I do now. Or I can, but it will take more time and more energy, and maybe not as sophisticated. You see? So I have to have partners. So in terms of training, I cannot do all the training. I want to make more than what I make now. And my wife will always say he's never satisfied in terms of money Okay, other things okay. I have to put that in also. No, yes. Darling, I love you. Okay. Right. I have to continue the process,
Have to.
Okay, yeah. Anyway. So having that team. And many times, in me and my wife also, we've had arguments, debates of what type of staff to hire and whether we want to hire or not. Her concern is cost. I said, yeah, but I can take the work that you do and give to another person, and you can focus on things which are more strategic. And the same thing organizations must do. So I've also learned that you must have a team. Your company has a team, which is you. Who is your team? Who is the one helping you make more money? Who is the one helping you manage, picking up your kids if you cannot come and pick up? Who is the one helping with your parents if you cannot do? Who is the one, for example, helping you with the chores? If you're not available, you must have a team. So these are things important. So most people who say, no, it's okay, I'm alone, I'm fine. No, you're not fine, brother. Let me tell you. You are not fine. You better have somebody. And there's an assessment we do. We call it social support. And there are 11 questions. And the example of questions will be, if you are having a crisis, do you have somebody you can call? Is there a person? If, for example, you are stuck in the hospital, is there somebody who can do something for you? If you wanted to go for a movie, and out of a sudden scenario, you wanted to go for a movie, is there somebody you can call? Now, a lot of people listening to this will say, yes. That person would probably be a spouse. Now, if that spouse was not there, would you have a person? If the answer is no, we are in trouble. Because one day the spouse won't be there. Then what happens? Oh, then I got children. Children might not be there. What about those who don't have children? Those who don't have spouses? You must have a group of friends. Sometimes the spouse can be a pain. You need friends to go and complain to about your spouse. Sometimes your friends are a pain. Then you need your spouse. But you need a circle away from your spouse. You need that life. So that also I learned. My wife is excellent at that. She has got a solid clique. In fact, she got more cliques than me.
Yeah, my wife too. Yeah.
And that's why women are not as suicidal as men.
We tend to take it all on our own.
Yes.
Yeah,
and we don't share it as much with other men. We might share it with women, even that also we're not sure.
I think that's tough, right? Because men are made differently, right? Like if my friend kept on telling me problems, I say, bro, come on.
I say, so you're not helpful, Vinod.
Not helpful. Don't waste your time with me.
All of you finish spending time with him, please think again.
Yeah.
Okay?
Don't.
You spend too many time with political people who are giving him all kinds of headaches.
Yeah.
So the ratio is 2-1. Suicidal, male 4 to 1. So in some countries 2 to 1, some 4 to 1. So simply because that's the ego of the man. Identity created by you, for you by where? For upbringing, man must be strong. All this story, so that's the challenge.
Okay, so let's end it with this. Say there's somebody now watching you now, and they are in a rut. They are in a bad position. They are struggling. They in their life maybe in a business or whatever in work. What's your advice? How do I come out of that rut? What is the first thing I should do?
Accept that you're in deep shit. Very important.
Okay.
Once you say and you still, you're looking at it, is that particular color, that particular smell? No, shouldn't be. It is. Accept. It is not gold. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean that is your future. That is right now. So now, accept, reorg yourself. Not reorg means recalibrate. This is the scenario. I didn't expect it. I didn't want it. I don't like it. And that's fine. But now, I still want to move forward. Okay, what is the new forward I will move? Before I get that whatever I wanted earlier, which is still possible. Remember that is very possible. And this, whatever you are going through right now, is probably going to be that stepping stone to bounce you up. For me, I look at whatever rut you're in. Imagine you are at the swimming pool and you're on that, the diving board. Before you go up, you have to push yourself down. So whatever you're going through right now, that is the down movement. And when you bounce, you're going to bounce so much higher than you can even imagine. I want you to believe that. I've gone through that. COVID time, we bounced like crazy. We got 21 new countries around the world, which we could not have gotten as fast as we did because of COVID. And because there was no business for a while, we pivoted very quickly, right? So wherever you are right now, if it's not very fantastic for you, accept it. That's how it is. Don't have to agree with it. You don't like it, it's fine. But then very quickly try new things. Don't be afraid to try new things. Even if no money is coming in, you need to invest. Invest. Because not investing not going to keep you. Not going to bring you forward. It's going to keep you there. Because people are afraid to spend when they're not making money. I spent when I was not making money, but I spent on things that I felt would help me bounce back. And I still don't know, will it really help me or not until I try. So yeah, you will put money in the wrong places and right places, but you must try. After you try, it works, make it something which is a habitual thing within your team for yourself. So follow the AIOU lah. Then optimize it, make it better. So it doesn't matter. So don't be afraid to try. That's very important.
All right, guys, that's Suresh Dhawan Talks, episode 4 done. Episode 5. And many great tips and advice shared by Mr. Suresh. So share your thoughts in the comment section, what you felt and about what he said. And if you guys have a story too, let us know in the comment section. Many. So thank you, Suresh.
All right. Thanks, man.
No worries, man. So we'll see you all again for episode 6. Stay tuned for more. Take care, guys. Bye.
All righty.